Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will finish with our second unit, which is titled Careers. Our lesson today is the project and the self-assessment lesson in your books, page 32 and 33. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 32 and 33, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. Let's get started. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to form an interview and fill a self-reflection form. So you're going to make an interview and fill a self-reflection form, which is checking your understanding. Let's get started with the first one. In here, I want you to name the jobs that you are interested in. Ask yourself a question. What is the job that you are interested in? Let's not talk about dream jobs. Here we're talking about interesting jobs, things that you find interesting, you want to try. We can speak about fashion designer. A fashion designer is a very interesting job. You are coming up with products from scratch. Also, photographer. We're having here stopping memories, someone who's taking photos and publish them. We're having a chef. It is a very interesting job to come up with delicious, tasty dishes. How about the last one in here? He is a doctor. What kind of doctors? A dentist. A doctor for the teeth. Dentist. It's a very interesting job, and many people would, a dentist is their dream job. How about you? What is your dream job or the job that you find interesting? Okay, in today's lesson, by the end of today's lesson, you will make an interview. And what is an interview? You're going to meet someone with a topic in mind, and then you're going to ask this person questions and get their answers, so we will publish them. You will tell the others about this person's experience. So, I want to make an interview. What can I do? There are certain steps that you are going to follow. At the beginning, choose a topic. You have to be very specific. This is not a casual chat. You will be very specific. I want to speak about, in my interview, I will interview someone about traveling, about jobs, about learning English. Now I have my own topic. I know what I'm going to talk about. Now it's time to find a person. Choose your guest. Someone who is suitable for your topic. It's about traveling. I will meet a pilot or a traveler. If it is about learning English, I will interview someone who speaks English very well or someone who had learned a language recently. I have chosen now my guest. Now I will go to the following step, which is prepare your questions. And this is the core for which we will have a meeting between interview and English. You will write down your questions. What are the questions you will ask your guest? It's about traveling. You're not going to ask about family. Related and specific questions. All done with your questions. Now it is the interview day. You will interview the person, and while you are taking notes. It is a good idea that you are going to sit with them. Choose the media that you will use. Maybe you will send your questions through email, or you will videotape it or record it. Choose your media. It's not always the case that you are going to meet them in person. Now, I am all done with the meeting or the interview. Now, it is the time for you to write. And let's say, write or publish your interview. Maybe you will come up with a video interview, a recorded, a written one. So come up with the final product. Let's take these steps one by one. Here on your books, page 32, find a person, a relative or a friend who has a job that you are interested in. So, which topic are we talking about in here? It's about jobs. But here, an interesting job. My father is doing a very interesting job. So I will choose, this is the topic, and I will choose my father. Find a person. You will find the person who is doing this interesting job. Try to choose a relative or a friend, someone you can contact. Maybe through email, a phone call, you can meet in person. So always make sure that you are choosing your guest wisely, so you can meet them. You can get in touch with these people. Now, I have my own topic, and I know who I am going to meet. Next, here, question number 2. Prepare questions that you would like to ask them in an interview. Now, it is time to write down your questions before the interview now. What questions? I will ask my father questions about his job. What are the questions? What do you do? Asking him about the job. He is a teacher, he is a police officer, or whatever. Then question like, what does the job involve? What do you do every day when you go to your job? Does it involve like going outside, working outside, outdoors, or you're going to stay within an office? What does it involve? What do you do in your job? What are your qualifications? What have you done? What have you studied? Or courses you have taken, so now you are a police officer? Also, what skills help you get such a job? It's not always about qualifications, it's always the skills. If you can refer to page 21 for the skills. What are the skills that are required so I can get this job? And you can come up with many other questions. How long have you been doing this job? And many others. Okay? So, number 3, interview that person and write the answers in a note form. Use the same categories in the chart to organize them. So, you will ask about the qualities, qualifications, experience, and skills. Write down your question and sit with your guest and write down their answers. Then you will come up with a final product. So, how do you describe yourself? Qualities. I am a creative person. I am a social person. These are the description, characteristics. Qualifications. What are your qualifications? I am an engineering graduate and I have courses in marketing. How about the experience? Do you have prior experience? Have you ever worked before this job? Or you were fresh graduate and you started this job and that's it? What have you done before? Then, what are your skills? I am interested in. I am good at. These are the answers. And the answers will vary based on your guest and your questions. Okay? So these they are. Now let's go to the self-reflection form, which is in your books, page 33. What do we mean by the idea of self-reflection? When you self-reflect, it is a way of assessing yourself, your ways of working, and how you study. So, it's not a kind of a revision. However, you are looking back at your improvement and your efforts. How good am I? It's not the teacher's job, it is your job to tell yourself how good you are in this or in that. So ask yourself, am I doing well in this second unit in careers? What are the things that I need to practice more so I will improve? So, to reflect is to think about your learning and improvement. Just think, how am I doing? Be honest with yourself so you will improve your skills and your abilities. Okay, to start the self-reflection, we need to brainstorm ideas. I want you to flip through the book from the beginning, from page 21, the first page in this unit, until today's lesson. And what have we taken together so far? Whether it is a vocab, what are the grammars, the pronunciation, what have we taken so far together? We have covered topics like personal qualities, like someone is creative, someone is sociable, friendly. We've spoken about job profile and how to create a job profile. What is it? It is the short paragraph, yes, it's the short paragraph or two that comes at the beginning of your CV. So, to be catchy and a better written CV. We have spoken about the present perfect, simple and progressive. When can we use this and when can we use that? Also, we've spoken about the idea of gerund. What is a gerund? I am interested in doing. So the verb plus ing, this is the gerund. As a noun, swimming, talking in public. Job interview, it was in the listening part and in today's lesson as well. The job interview, we have come up with ideas from the job interview. What are the questions that you might be asked when you sit for a job interview? Also, the pronunciation was about the three sounds, in, and ing. These three sounds, and we compared these three sounds together. And we've spoken about the relative pronouns. Three relative pronouns, which are who, which, and that. Which one we use it with people and which one we use with things. And we have discussed jobs and careers. A long list of jobs, many jobs, and the skills that are required, the qualifications that are required. Some of them are common, we all know about them, and some of them are interesting, not common ones. Which one of these topics or the things that you still remember and I haven't mentioned in here, you find that it is interesting? I like it. It's not about difficult and easy, no. Something that is interesting. Maybe you can speak about the idea of personal qualities. I like speaking about people's qualities and skills. How about something that is not my cup of tea? I don't like it that much. It's not interesting. You can choose any one of these. Maybe it's the pronunciation or the job interview. Then, speaking about something that was very easy, simple, and I don't think that I need to practice it anymore. The pronunciation was very easy. The relative pronouns are very simple. How about something that I need to practice much more? It is a bit challenging. I need to practice it. Choose any topic and ask yourself which one of these I need to practice more. Okay, now we will take the objectives one by one, and here you're going to tell yourself how good you are in this or that and highlight, am I on level 1, level 2 or level 3 based on your abilities and your skill. On page 20, we have talked about certain careers. You can name these 3 jobs. What are these? We're having here car sculptor. What are the skills? And we spoke about safe in here. And also here, Matthew, who was a food scientist. He is a food scientist. And the last one here, we've spoken about animation designer. And each one of these is having a certain skills that are required, qualifications required, so you can be doing this job. Okay, followed by, on the following page, page 21. Here, can you talk about personal qualities and personality characteristics? Based on each job, we will have the certain skills. Let's speak about, first we're having these are the skills. Communication skills, honesty and integrity, teamwork skills, we're having interpersonal skills, strong work ethics, and motivation and initiative. Each one job requires many of these skills. Okay? You can refer to your books on page 21. We're having a long list of 12 skills that are required in the 21st century. Okay, for an animation designer, let's go to page 21 and I want you to come up with the skills or the required skills by an animation designer. An animation designer needs to have flexibility and adaptability, because while you are doing the job, bad things might happen. You have to be flexible, fix them, and go ahead. Also, they need to have communication skills to tell your ideas and to listen to other people's ideas, to write down your ideas and to read other people's ideas. Express and get. You need to have teamwork skills, because an animated video is not one person's an individual work. It is a group work. So you have to know how to work with a team, with a group. Also, you have to know how to, you must have interpersonal skills. You're going to work with a team of colleagues, with clients or with customers, and with your manager. You will deal with different kind of people, how to deal with this, that, and those. Interpersonal skills. You can come up with any job, like an animation designer, food scientist, teacher, doctor, dentist, and come up with the skills that are required here and there. Okay. On page 22, it was the grammar lesson, and check your understanding. Can you use the present perfect, the progressive, and the simple? We said had been doing progressive, had done is the simple. How long and how many? So here, I have been looking for, I have looked for a job for 3 months. This is the time. When I much more focus on the time, I will choose here, I have been looking, the present perfect progressive tense. And I still haven't found or haven't been finding one. I'm counting the number of jobs. Here, I still haven't found any job yet. My father has worked or has been working at many different jobs during his career. Many, maybe 3, 4. The focus here is on the number of jobs, not the length of the career work. So, he has worked at many different jobs. Adnan has written or has been writing books for years. Here, time. So, you will use the progressive tense. Adnan has been writing books for years, but he has not been receiving any awards yet. 0. The focus here is on the number. So, he hasn't received any award yet. How many pages? Focus is on how many, which is the number. How many pages of that book have you read or have you been reading? How many have you read? I have read 3 pages, 10 pages, the number of pages. How long have you been reading this book? For a week. Okay, this is the present perfect simple and present perfect progressive. You can refer to your books, page 22. Then the same page, we have spoken about the construction, which is adjective plus proposition plus a gerund. Interested in, good at, doing. Gerund is the verb plus ing. Play a sport. Let's form sentences using I am good at, I am interested in, doing, in relation with play a sport. I am interested in playing a sport. Adjective, proposition, gerund. Followed by I am good at playing football. Adjective, proposition, gerund in here. Then I am good at scoring. Adjective, proposition, and this is the gerund. Then I am interested in playing with a team. Interested is the adjective, in is the proposition, and playing is the gerund in here. So the gerund is the verb plus ing. I am good at doing. I am interested in doing. Doing is the gerund. You can refer to your books on page 22. Then, in the form, meaning, and function lesson, we have page 30. We have discussed the use of the simple present and ask WH questions. So present simple, how can I form a WH question? It's not a yes/no question. The answer is extra information. So let's look at here. Khalid works at 8. The first thing that I will do is to analyze works. What do I mean by works? Work plus S. So it will be the verb, which is work, action, and the helping verb, which is does. So here we will have does. Khalid works at 8. Now I want to form a question. I will say, does he work at 8? All I have done is just to change the order. Does Khalid work at 8? Yes, he does. Now I want to form a WH question about at 8. At 8 is a time. So the suitable WH question word is when. So when does he work at 8? And because I have when, I have to delete the answer. So the question will be, when does he work? When does he work? When does Khalid work? He works at 8. He works at 8. Okay. Then the same page, on page 30, the use of the propositions of time for the present tense. What are the 3 propositions of time? In, for a big chunk of time. On, for 1 day or 2. And at, for a very specific time. So in, you can use it with centuries, like in the 21st century. With years, in 2021. In January, 4 months. And in the first week, 4 weeks. Less than a week, less than 7 days, you're going to use on. So, on Monday, on Sunday, and on the weekend, on the weekdays. Less than 7. Less than 1 day, we will have hours. So I will use at. At 1 o'clock, at night, or at 9:30, very specific time. So for years, in, on for days, 1 day or 2, and at for very specific times, for hours. Okay, so these they are. Then we have discussed the idea of the use of relative pronouns. We're having 3 relative pronouns. The first one is who for people, which for things, and that for both people and things. So, the new driver started work yesterday is very quiet. Driver, someone in here. So I will say who started work or that started work. The products, things in here. Who, which or that launched this week are selling very well. I'd like to introduce you to the person, someone, the person is someone, who or that organized the conference. That is not the job, speaking about a job, about something which or that he applied for. So just check the noun that comes before the blank, someone, who or that. Otherwise, if it is a thing or a place, just use which. Okay. Then, by the end of the form, meaning, and function, page 31, we have discussed the idea of using while. When do we use while? When we're having 2 actions happening at the same time. And they happened in the past. Like here, we're having Fatima, she's doing 2 things at the same time. Shopping, grocery shopping, and taking a phone call. So at the same time, talking on the phone and shopping. So we can use the sentence as Fatima was talking on her cell phone while she was shopping. So was talking, past progressive, was shopping, past progressive, and we made a connection between them using while. So it means 2 actions happened at the same time. And you can write the sentence in another way. While, capital W here, while Fatima was shopping, comma, she was talking on her cell phone. And this is a sentence. See, she was talking on her cell phone. So you can write it both ways. The meaning will never be different. Choose a favorite word. In your book's page 33, they want you to choose a favorite word. Where can you refer to with favorite words? Just go to page 102. On page 102, there is a long list of words. Choose up to 5 words of these. Try to find the meanings for these words. Put them in a correct sentence, and these will be your favorite words. If you still have any questions, and you should still have some, just go and read through the unit again. Listen to the audio materials. You can find them in the barcodes. Study the grammar and the form, meaning, and function again. And if you still have any questions, just refer to your teachers and ask them. They are always there for you to help you. Okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today. And thank you so much for your time.